Okay, welcome to the Mpgymbox podcast again today. We have Jason Patterson on the show again, doing our weekly boxing chat. How you doing, Jason? Okay?
I'm doing good, Coach. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
Just staying at home.
Yeah, no change in lockdown is yet, so everyone's doing the same thing.
Staying corona free.
Yep. Weather's nice this weekend, though.
It is. I'm looking outside my window. It looks nice, but I ain't stepping outside.
So, on this week's boxing chat, we're talking about the Joshua and Fury fight. Now, I know that it's not signed, and I know there's, no one said it's going to get signed or anything, but there's a lot of rumours out there at the minute. There's a lot of rumours about there's talks or in talks and stuff like that between like Eddie Hearn saying one thing, Frank Warren saying another, them saying we are in talks, we're not in talks. I think they are in talks, but whether it's it's going to be next, but they're talking about some sort of deal. And whether the Wilder Fury fight, what's happening with that? Then there's the Pulev Joshua fight, what's happening with that? And do we want to see next? I know a lot of boxing fans will be like, well, of course you want to see it next. You drop, yeah, I understand that, but in these circumstances, as in we're in lockdown, so you want it to be now, and you want it to be behind closed doors.
You're right. To answer all these questions, I mean, there's a lot of things that's up in the air. I don't think they have any kind of concrete negotiation or a concrete offer on the table, but I know it's all up in the air. They're all options. There's a bunch of angles and like barriers they have to climb to even get the fight to happen. I believe that the boxing public would push or would want that fight to happen. Is it really realistic? Would Pulev step aside and let them two fight? Will Wilder accept the step aside fee or money and let them two fight? I find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
Really hard to believe because, I believe Wilder had turned down the first offer that was given to him a little bit after the second fight to step aside and let Fury do his thing. I know Wilder has just had a torn biceps surgery. So I know it might be unlikely to see a Wilder Fury 3 in 2020. Mm-hmm. Potentially at the end of the year, I don't know. And we don't know when we're going to get out of this.
What's interesting? I understand we don't know when we're... Well, I think we will probably get out of, like, you'll be more people will be going back to work and stuff in the next, like, couple of months. Yeah. But as in a sporting venue, as in you won't be seeing people, like arenas, people like 16,000, 10,000, 20,000 people in arenas anytime soon. I think that'll be well into next year. The way things are, have been spoken about in the media and stuff like this, they reckon like the Premier League and that, and a lot of sporting events are going to be played behind closed doors. Like the UFC this weekend, it's going to be behind closed doors. And I can see with all this like social distancing, I can't see any event over 500 people or something like that will be on. I understand what you're saying with the step aside money, and I understand there's a for and against that. I can understand, but you're saying Wilder's having surgery on his bicep. It'd be interesting to see in the contract if there is a negotiations where that fight's got to be signed and done within a certain time period, because that does happen. In contract,
he already exercised his rematch clause. Are you saying they got to fight the rematch within a certain
maybe
time period?
Yeah,
that's possible. I haven't heard anything about that. It's interesting because not only Wilder is an obstacle that they have to get past for that Fury Tyson to happen, but also Pulev.
Yeah.
And last time I heard, I want to say it was towards the end of the week or yesterday or so, his manager was talking about he was looking for a location for the fight between Joshua and Pulev to happen in Croatia. right?
Yeah.
So they're looking at a location right now. Apparently, both camps been talking to each other and saying they gave each other 4 weeks to find out a new location, because originally the fight was supposed to happen in June in London.
Yeah.
They try to give themselves 4 weeks for a new location if the situation in England does not change. Obviously, we'll find out tomorrow or whatever if the situation in England with this whole pandemic going on changes. But it's interesting because they're still on par for those fights that happen at the moment. The Wilder one, he got to recover. But Pulev, they're looking for a new location. And then the MTK group, if I'm correct, MTK Global.
Global, yeah.
Apparently, they also represent Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, because I guess them two don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
But they are over there in the Middle East trying to find a Saudi Arabian group to be able to fund an event for a Fury against Joshua. But they need enough money to be able to cover the fighters, because apparently it won't be no spectators to watch the fight, but also the money, a large amount of money for the step-aside money that we'll have to offer Wilder. Try to give him a new offer to see if he'll accept it. But I it's hard for me to believe that it will happen. And I believe if Wilder was to take the step-aside money, he also will have to stipulate that he gets the winner of the fight. And it's hard for me to believe, especially when I know Pulev is looking for a location for the fight. It's hard for me to see it happen.
Yeah. I mean,
at least not in 2020 or as Fury next fight.
Yeah, like I can, you know, it's like, so would I want to see it next? Probably not. In the fact that if this lockdown hadn't have happened, if the coronavirus hadn't have happened, I'd have probably gone, I'd like to see it next. You know, do I really want to see Joshua Pulev? Not really. Do I really want to see a third Fury Wilder fight? Not really. Do I want to see Fury Joshua? Of course I do. It's the biggest heavyweight fight since, in my opinion, since Lewis and Tyson. But with this, you know, a super fight, all super fights, you need to sell it. You need to get people talking about it. All super fights. Like the reason Pacquiao Mayweather was as big as it was is because it taken 5 years to make, 5 to 6 years to make. Whereas I understand it had been a big fight in 2009 and 10. I understand that, but it got bigger. It did get bigger because it's the debate. Like the way a debate happens is like gyms, local boxing gyms, not any form of public place. Your work, you know, you'd be talking about people at work about the fight. Pubs are a big one. You know, whereas no one can interact with anybody. So let's say, all right, we're going to do it in July, August. We're going to do it. We're going to put it in a arena. We know people there. We're going to put, you know, like they do in the UFC. We're going to put Fury's camp. We're going to test them all. Joshua camp. We're going to test them all. We're going to bring it together. We'll do pay-per-view, which it will sell loads on pay-per-view, but it's not big. It's big, but not like Foxgrove. So that also is a domestic fight, because that's the last big domestic fight before this one, if it does happen. It was huge because everybody was talking about it. I know people who I never knew was into boxing, and they was coming up to me, what do you reckon of the fight? What do you reckon of the fight? And you need that. You need a split. You need a debate. You need people talking about it. It's all right talking about it online and on Facebook and stuff like that, but it's not the same. You need to have that. You need to have that interaction with people. But having said that, it's still the biggest. Let's say it happens in 2021. Still the biggest fight post lockdown. What else is going to be there to make? What other big fights are there to be made in boxing, really? Big fight, like super fight. Look, you always get big fight, like Spence Crawford, big fight. But it's not, in my opinion, it's not as big as Fury Joshua. Not commercially. It's for boxing fans. For boxing fans, it's very interesting. It's interesting. I couldn't wait for that fight. But as commercially attracting the casual fans, the everyday man in the street, it's Fury Joshua.
I believe that maybe Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis, that could be a super fight. I mean,
you know why?
That definitely could be a super fight.
Loma, yeah. Gervonta Davis, no. I like his ratings in the USA. I don't think he'll be that big.
Nah, he's big. Gervonta Davis is big.
No, but a super fight, I mean.
Yeah, I mean super fights, because really, Fury came out of nowhere. Like, he hasn't really done nothing besides being wild. As far as like the fame, it just came overnight. Gervonta is being, each time Gervonta has a show or anything like that, people move for it. And he's been like that consistently.
But you know what it is?
We had one big fight, two big fights, should I say. Wilder, the first one and the second one.
You need, in my opinion, you need a character. Gervonta Davis has no character. Lomachenko's no character. Fury, Gervonta Davis ain't gone to the WWE. They have never invited him. He's been a world champion for years. Never invited him.
I don't think just
characters.
That was good to help Fury, but I don't think Gervonta Davis necessarily needs that to raise his bar. Like, he's been known in the sports.
Now, in the sport, I'm not classing as it in the sport. I mean, in my opinion, I might be completely wrong, but in my opinion, even in America, because of how big the Wilder fight was, Fury's been in 2 big fights in America. Gervonta Davis has not been in 1 big fight yet, not 1.
Yeah, they know Gervonta over Fury. No. America will know Gervonta Davis over Fury. And just because of the name attached to him, Floyd. People knew about Gervonta. From girls to people that I'm talking about girls that I know anything. Oh, Gervonta's fighting. People know Gervonta Davis' name. When he's fighting, they know his name.
I just think I'd happily put money on, even in America, that Fury Joshua does more buys than Gervonta Davis Lomachenko, just purely because it's the heavyweight championship of the world against number 1.
I don't think, I could be wrong, and people might slay me for this.
The heavyweight division is the biggest division.
I don't believe, in history, not currently. I don't believe people move for heavyweights like they move for welterweights or other division middleweights. I don't think the heavyweight division, I know in history they are, and I know that's what built boxing. I don't think it dominates or is even the number 1 division as far as spectacle.
I wouldn't say the last. I'm
talking about like right now.
Yeah, the last. No, I think it's second. Behind middleweight, just purely because of Canelo. Whoever Canelo fights, it's a big thing. I think, especially because really, everyone would expect Lomachenko to dominate Gervonta Davis, including me. Nobody knows what could happen with Fury Joshua. There's a lot of split opinions there. And the biggest fights tend to split opinions. Like I say, Mayweather Pacquiao split. Most towards the end, towards the actual fight happening. Well, I remember in 2009, 2010, I know it was 50-50 then. As Pacquiao had a few losses, by the time he got to the actual fight, a lot of people was backing Floyd, but still split opinion. Domestically, I'll go back to Frost Groves because it was a UK, rivalry. Split opinions: 50% pick Frost, 50% pick Groves. I'll be comfortable thinking out of 10 people, 9 have picked Loma. I'll be comfortable at that.
I do believe Loma will be the favorite, but people are so.
In my opinion, I think
Gervonta Davis knockout power that some people will pick Davis. I believe inside of boxing, most people in boxing will pick Loma, but the conventional fan, like the fan that doesn't watch boxing every day, that just want to watch 2 people in the ring, they know about Gervonta Davis over Loma. That to that point. If you're a non-boxing fan and just like this, I am talking about in America. Gervonta Davis got a bigger name than Loma.
Even now.
Yeah, even now. People will know about it.
10% number 1 in the world for a bit.
If you're a regular person that just, I'm about to watch some boxing tonight, you don't even know about a pound for pound list, I believe.
he was.
You just watch certain fighters and what it's talked about.
But he had his first world title fight on the Pacquiao card.
Who?
Loma. That's massive nostalgia. The biggest boxing show of all time.
Nobody would know who he was. So nobody would even check them out. How many boxing cards that you don't know the name, you don't even watch it?
I don't think that's right. I think the only super fights.
I mean, I was thinking that because people are giving a chance. People are giving Teofimo Lopez a chance.
I don't think Gervonta Davis should trouble Loma. I think Ramirez is a lot better than Gervonta Davis. Loads better, more skills. He couldn't knock Loma out, and he's bigger than Gervonta Davis. Bigger.
He don't got. I don't believe he has the power that Gervonta Davis has. The explosiveness to knock somebody out that Gervonta Davis has. He is a bigger fight because he fight at a bigger weight. Obviously, Loma cannot fight Gervonta 140. He will have to come down to what he used to fight at. So comparing him to Linares,
I just don't think. I mean, put it this way: would I want to pay for Gervonta Davis Lomachenko? I probably would because I'm a boxing fan, but I wouldn't be like, I need to see this fight.
I got you.
Whereas in Joshua Fury, I'd be like, and that ain't just a British thing. I couldn't wait.
I wasn't saying Loma and Gervonta Davis will be bigger than Fury Joshua. I just believe Gervonta Davis' name is a bigger name in America for people outside of boxing than Tyson Fury.
Even though he's not been in a decent fight, like a big fight yet. You know, been one big fight, not one.
When you say one big fight, you mean a super fight?
Well, now see a big fight because a big fight was Fury.
His first fight against Pedraza was the event and everything was big. His fight against Pedraza,
but like
that wasn't the main event. That was the co-main event.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even a main event. You know, has he even main evented a big show?
Yeah, a big show. I know he main evented, but
if he was big, would he be coming over to America? The UK. Like he fought Walsh over
it. He asked, and he was the main event, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, but come on, it's against Walsh. It's not a big card. Floyd never come over here. Floyd never come over here.
It was the main event, though. You know what I'm saying? And that was in the UK.
Small show.
Huh?
It was a small show.
Where was it? It was in London, wasn't it? At the O2 Arena, wasn't it?
It was a box night. It was a Frank Warren show, and it won a big show, won pay-per-view.
I told you what I feel about pay-per-view, but I guess in the UK it's a little bit different. But
what I'm saying is, Fury has been in 2 big fights with Wilder. Gervonta Davis has not been in a fight in that magnitude. Nowhere near. Nowhere, not even close. Not even half.
Would you say can you consider the first one a big one, or was it really the second one the big one?
No, it was a big. The second one was bigger, but the first one was big because everyone was intrigued to see what Fury could do.
No, I got you. I mean,
and then everyone knew. Wow, he should have won, and then he got up from that knockdown. So then it was intriguing. Well, can Wilder actually nail him this time, or is Fury going to outbox him? And Fury just stopped him. And that's risen his profile even more. Then the WWE is the biggest probably show in America. As in the WWE probably gets more views than the NFL, NBA, and boxing. WWE.
Hell no.
WWE?
Hell no. You want me to put the Super Bowl next to the WrestleMania?
Oh, no. I'm on about week to week. The WWE's on every week. Every week. WWE's got a show on every week.
I highly doubt it.
Well, it's up there. Gervonta Davis, it's very popular.
Yeah, it ain't messing with the NFL. But we treat the NFL as religion.
But Gervonta Davis is not at that exposure. I'm surprised that you're even putting Gervonta Davis in the same category as Fury. As in a star.
Yes, because when Gervonta Davis beat Pedraza and he went to the UK and got that quick knockout, Showtime and everybody was saying that he was the next pay-per-view star.
But he ain't,
so it had to be with numbers.
But he ain't.
He hasn't been as active, but he's been known as he had those 2 wins in America. He was known. Fury was still whatever he was doing.
Yeah, I agree. I want about now.
Well, that doesn't.
Look at the
Fury
weight. Look at
rising
the
up
divisions
doesn't
as
make
well.
Gervonta Davis go down. You know
What
what I'm
weight
saying?
is he? What weight is he now? Super feather.
I think Gervonta is going up to 135.
Okay, so lightweight. Okay, so but he's fought all his career featherweight, featherweight, super featherweight. No one takes in no disrespect to the featherweight because I do like me personally as a boxing fan. I like it.
Yeah.
But the heavyweight division now is red hot, right?
Yeah, of course.
And those lightweights take Loma out the division. No one cares about the lightweight division. Same as the fact you need a star to take notice first. You need a star. Then you build it around one star. The heavyweight division really, in a way, has got three: Joshua, Fury, Wilder. Joshua Fury, whichever order. But Wilder's still put his name.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Lightweight has only got one Loma. There's no other stars there. What makes you take any notice? They've got prospects. Well, up and comers,
No.
Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. These are all prospects, but
Those are
nobody.
not prospect, but I agree with you.
No, not a prospect. But
I know what you're saying.
They haven't created a name for themselves yet.
No, I know they're not at that level. I agree with you.
But whereas in Fury Wilder it's for all the belts, and
still be having the first undisputed fighter since Lennox Lewis, which was 1999.
You could.
Was that 1999?
Lewis Tyson?
The last undisputed fighter was it in 99?
That was Lennox Lewis. Yeah, 1999. Yeah, Lennox Lewis.
Evander Holyfield.
But I think, in my opinion, if you look at if you in America, look, I ain't saying I know more than you in the American scene, but I'll be comfortable if you put Loma and Gervonta Davis in Vegas at the MGM, and you put 6 months later Fury Joshua on the MGM. I'd be confident that he'd have more boys and he'd attract way more attention to the strip.
I'm not disputing that. I'm saying that you asked me what would be another post-pandemic super fight.
Oh, was that what you said? I thought you were trying to compare.
That's what you had said. So I wasn't saying that Gervonta and Loma will be a bigger spectacle than Joshua and Fury. I'm just saying that Gervonta Davis, I believe, outside of boxing, is a bigger name than Tyson Fury. Or put like this, I don't believe Fury is a bigger name than Gervonta Davis. But Fury and Joshua put together, yes, it's a bigger fight than Lomachenko and Davis, but most of it has to do with Joshua. Fury just came out of nowhere, and he only had 2 big fights. You got to remember, he came out of nowhere. We don't know who he fought before Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is Gervonta Davis, yes, he's been having his issue outside of boxing, and he has what really hurt me, him not being active. Yeah, but as long as his name is attached to Floyd Mayweather, and they remember.
What do Jack won big? Nowhere near big, and he was with Floyd Mayweather.
No. It's also the way. Yeah, but that's a good point. But it's the way Floyd Mayweather anointed himself. Maybe it was, selling and promotion, obviously. He's the next thing. He said it on TV when he knocked out Pedraza. I don't think he will be.
Huh? I don't think he will be. To you?
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying the words that came out of his mouth, people took notice of that. He never spoke about Bobby Jack in the way he spoke about Gervonta Davis. What are you asking me? Go ahead.
I think that most of the 135 fighters beat him. Top fighters.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Gervonta Davis. I was just mostly talking. I mean, I like him, but I'm not a big fan. My guy is Tevin Farmer. I know he just took a loss against Diaz. I still think Tevin Farmer has a chance to beat Gervonta. I mean, did his last loss hurt him a little bit and my confidence in him being Gervonta? A little bit, but I always used to push for Tevin Farmer.
What do you think?
Got Devin Haney. Devin Haney would outclass Gervonta Davis now. Shakur Stevenson, if he moves up. So no, I was just saying his name itself, his brand, and what's behind him and pushing him. Yeah, he got a name.
Do you think right now Joshua Fury would be bigger, let's say, not now, because we're in lockdown, would be bigger now. So it was, all right, say now, say when was lockdown done, everything's back to normal. So let's say December, January, for instance.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's bigger then, or
Yeah.
bigger in 12 months' time?
12 months' time, you gotta give the promotion to build the spectacle. And I believe that if Wilder was to recover and that Joshua fights Pulev,
yeah,
he becomes victorious. Fury does what he does and beats Wilder. By the way, people, I want Wilder to win, but it's gonna be a tough task. But if Tyson Fury does beat Wilder, that's gonna build the promotion itself.
Yeah.
Because now we're gonna be pushing for it even more, and we just seen him just put on a show against Wilder. Joshua put on a show against Pulev. It'll be bigger. So that's why I don't believe it's realistic to have this kind of fight.
No.
When you don't have fans in the stands. I can see a Wilder Fury 3 with no fans in the stands. A Pulev Joshua with no fans in the stands.
Yeah.
The first undisputed heavyweight since 1999.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that would be the first undisputed heavyweight since 1999, but the first ever heavyweight to ever hold 4 belts: WBO, WBC, IBF, and WBA. That's never been done before ever in heavyweight history.
No, it's true. That's true.
You telling me that this is gonna happen with no fans in the stands?
Can't. Who? Right, and I'm gonna ask you then. Who do you think would win? What's your opinion on the fight? With the fight?
That's a good question. Before I even answer that, I have to go back to what you said earlier when we first start opening up the show, where you said, obviously, I don't believe it will happen. It's not realistic because of all the barriers with the Pulev and Wilder and the fights that's on the line.
Yeah.
But you also said that I'm trying to remember now what you said. You also said, would it be realistic for it to happen? It wouldn't be because we wouldn't know the location. I know there's MTK Global they want to get the deal in the Middle East, but that's with no fans during this pandemic.
Yeah,
I believe this type of fight, like you said, it's a Vegas type of fight, or it needs to be in the UK.
I think. Go on, sorry.
But hypothetically speaking, if it was to happen, I do believe that Tyson Fury will outbox Anthony Joshua with 12 rounds. Do I believe he can do what he did to Wilder to Anthony Joshua? No, I don't believe so. Because of the way Joshua is built. Joshua I would think, is bigger than Fury naturally. Definitely look stronger than Fury. So I believe Fury will probably not try to bulk up weight, but go back to his normal weight that he usually fights at. Yeah. So it doesn't affect his movement.
Yeah.
So I believe that he will just box and move, use his reflexes, use his defense, use his distance, and just have a 12-round unanimous decision. That's my prediction for the fight. But it won't be a cakewalk. There will be some adversity. But I believe Fury is strong mentally, and he has all the tools in the box to be able not to toy, but to have a comfortable win into 4 belts and undisputed first heavyweight champion of all time with 4 belts.
More similar to what I'm going to say. I mean, I think that as in the fight, there's big rumours that it's going to be in the Middle East, or Saudi Arabia, Dubai, somewhere like that, because of the money it can generate. Like you say, they can generate the billionaire, the trillionaires. Some of them, they've got so much money, so they could pay for the step aside money for Wilder and Pulev, and enough to pay both fighters 150 million each. And but in my opinion, as a boxing fan, I'd want to see it in Vegas, and that's from I love British boxing. Wembley Stadium's a beautiful stadium. It's huge, but I've been to stadium fights before, and the view is terrible. To the point where I went to Spence Brook at Sheffield, and I went to Spence Brook, and I thought, well, I don't want to sit at the back because the fighters are like that big. You know what I mean? They're tiny. So I thought, well, I think I paid quite a bit of money, and I've got pitch seats, and I think I was like 10 rows back, which is quite close. You don't 10 rows back from the front is close, and you couldn't see because everyone's the same height. So you was like this. So I was watching the fights through the screen above. Well, I was watching on TV. So I'm not a massive fan. It looks, don't look, a stadium is a spectacle. It looks brilliant when you're there in the audience, when you're there in the crowd. It looks brilliant to see all these fans around you. The ring in the in the middle of the stadium, and then and it looks good on TV. You know, you're watching on TV and the camera goes round. It shows you the fighters walking. It looks brilliant. But in my opinion, I think Vegas is better. And then I was like, oh well, if you're going to put it in Vegas and 16, 17,000 seat stadium, put it at the O2 or the Manchester Arena. No, the big fights in British boxing history, man, have happened in Vegas. All the big fights happen in Vegas. And I think that fight, like you look at Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton took, there was 35,000 fans went over for Ricky Hatton. 25 for the Mayweather fight. 25,000 fans went over for the Pacquiao fight. God knows how many British fans would go over there for Joshua and Fury. You could probably get like 60, 70, maybe 80,000 Brits over there because you're going to get thousands of people supporting Fury, thousands of people supporting Joshua, all in Vegas. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Then the Americans there as well who'd fight, who are there anyway. A lot of Americans go there for big fights anyway, regardless, because they can access it. It's only a short flight to them to get there. You know what I mean? To access that, to get there. So it'd be absolutely huge. The MGM Grand, Vegas, fight week in Vegas is amazing for fans. You know, I've experienced it. It's huge. Yes, I understand the cost. You got to get flights. You got to get a hotel. Tickets. I appreciate that, and most people don't get tickets because the stadium the arena only holds 16,000 fans. I understand that, but closed circuit in Vegas is brilliant as well. It's brilliant. You've got like 3,000 people and a big screen. It's amazing. Now, but Wembley, okay, Wembley, you ain't got to have the cost of flights and hotels. I get that. I understand that, but you know, Vegas, like the times I've been to Vegas, it's memories I'll never forget. It's like a holiday. You go with the lads. It's like a little adventure. You go there and it's like everything's surreal. Now, flip it to Saudi Arabia. I know people who went to that fight, Joshua and Ruiz.
Yes.
You couldn't do anything. You couldn't. If you left the hotel, you could. There's nowhere to drink. And I ain't saying people like a drink, but when you go abroad for a fight, you go with the lads. You know, you go with the boys. So you go there. There's nowhere to drink. There's no form of entertainment really or anything like that. So really, you was mainly you stayed in your hotel. You wasn't allowed to go to certain areas. You got pushed back into certain areas. It's stuff like that. I just don't think it's good for. Look, you can generate the money then, and I think it did look glamorous. What Sky did want us to know, you know, the cameras wanted to show. But when you was actually there as a fan, or it wasn't that good, but the cameras made it. Oh, it was brilliant. They got a lot of stuff going on to keep the fans entertained. I've seen interviews with trainers on boxing, on Boxing Social and IFL TV, and they were saying, yeah, there ain't a lot to do really. We're just bored. Whereas in Vegas, that's never going to happen in Vegas. There's millions of things to do, and what a way, you know what I mean? If you could say I was in Vegas for that fight, it's amazing. I think it's the next biggest. It's the next down from.
So you believe that the Fury Joshua, if it was to happen, should happen in Vegas.
Yeah.
It happens in Vegas. It's fight week, fight day. Who wins?
Now,
and how?
I think Fury wins, and I think Fury wins late stoppage. I think it could be points. It could win on points, but I think Joshua, he could tire Joshua out. I think I'll take you through what I think. Rounds 1 to 3, maybe even to 4, will be very cagey because I understand that all big fights tend to be that way because there's a lot at stake.
What do you mean when you say cagey? Like, what do you mean?
Well, cagey means I think there'll be like some jabs exchanged, some 1-2s, but not a lot of big combinations. It won't light up. There won't be like both standing there trading, slipping, throwing. I don't think it'd be like that. I think they'll be very cautious because Fury in this fight will revert back to the style of Wilder 1 and box on the back foot. I think he'll box on the back foot, and try and set traps for Joshua. I think he'll make Joshua miss and then counter, like lay back. He likes to. You watch Fury; he does a very good lay back backhand, lay back flicking jab. Yeah, I think he'll set traps for him and try and make Joshua miss and tire. But on the flip side to that, I do think he has to come in with bursts now and again, and he has to tie Joshua up a lot to make Joshua tired. If he just moves off and pot shots, throw single shots at a time, that I don't think that necessarily will tire Joshua out. That's where he has to stay in a bit of like mid-range, quite close, to make him miss. Because if he's moving the other side of the ring, Joshua's conserving energy because he's just going to walk after him. But if he's standing...
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you believe... Didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to ask you a question because of what you just said about tiring Joshua.
Yeah.
Do you believe... Okay, if you go in a circle using your feet and you having somebody chase you, that can tire them, like you just said.
Yeah.
But you don't believe that will tire Joshua?
It will.
But do you believe that he will tire Joshua to the extent that you think as tying him up as far as making him miss, making him throw and miss? Keep on making him miss.
I think what could happen is, yeah, he could throw and miss, but in order to make someone throw and miss, you need to be quite, as in like mid-range, quite close to mid-range. If you're standing the other side quite far away, I'm not going to throw. What's the point of me throwing? Because I know I'm going to miss. But if I start getting to mid to close range with you, I'm going to try and throw shots now. So that's where he has to be mid to close range. And then if you make him miss, you either counter or hold. If you counter, good. Or even counter, then hold. And as you hold, wrestle him, tie him up, clinch him, put your lean on him, because Joshua carries a lot of muscle. And if you carry a lot of muscle, you've got to get oxygen to those muscles. I think that's how you could tire him. If it's a slow-paced fight, Joshua's not going to tire. And then I think he'll tire him, and then as Joshua tires more in the later rounds, Fury can step on the gas a little bit and start coming forward more, flipping to the Wilder 2 fight, committing more, pushing him back. I think he could break him down late and stop him late. And Joshua did impress me in the Ruiz fight, how he boxed. I never knew he could box on his toes, moving around the ring like that. He boxed very well, jab and move. But again, it wasn't a high-paced fight. There weren't a lot of shots thrown in that fight. Ruiz was putting pressure on, but it was very slow pressure. It wasn't like he was on his chest straight away. He was plodding. Joshua had all the time and all the room in the world to throw a jab or a 1-2. So
you believe
he did go 12, and he went 12 rounds comfortable, but it's a completely different fight.
Talking about going back to what you just said about the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua fight 2.
Yeah.
And you saying it was a slow pace.
Yeah.
You don't believe that Fury fighting Joshua at a slow pace is an advantage to Fury?
No. Because
I believe that it is, because that's how you're gonna. I believe because Fury boxing IQ and Fury reflexes and the ability to make people miss and fighting on his back foot, I believe he can catch Joshua, and Joshua will have issues timing distance. And while he's sand trap at a slow pace, I believe Joshua will try to throw, and because he's having issue timing the distance, he's just gonna keep missing. And that's how I believe he can just cruise to a 12-round fight, unanimous decision. That's why I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I understand what you're saying, but I think, look, like I say, Joshua, people now are sort of like flipped now completely on Joshua. They're all like on Fury now, Fury. I understand that, because what he did against Wilder was quite special, you know. It was dramatic. Was the Ruiz, what Joshua fight dramatic? No, he did what he had to do. But what I'm saying is Joshua is still dangerous. Joshua can still punch. Joshua is the bigger puncher out of Fury and Joshua. Joshua is the puncher in the fight. I reckon Joshua's stronger. Look, I'm not saying Fury's not stronger, but I do think there's a different physique. Fury's got a good engine. Look, Joshua's been 12 rounds. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is Joshua's looked tired in quite a few fights. And I think the later the fight goes, the less, and the more you make Joshua work and miss, the less that power is going to be there. And I think once Fury realises that he ain't got the same snap and power in his punches late on, Fury will step in more then and commit more. Round 2 and 3, he's stupid to walk in on him. I think the only reason he walked in on Wilder is because he knew that he was
going to impose his physique on Wilder.
He knew, yeah, he was a lot bigger.
He can't do that against Anthony Joshua.
No,
that's why I believe he will come at a different weight.
Yes, Joshua's probably bigger. Oh, well, It's close, very close in physique.
It's close, but Joshua's a stronger
Yes.
specimen, I believe.
Yes, so he can't impose his physique like early, like he did on Wilder. But I do think that late on, when Joshua's power goes and it's not much snap and he's a bit more fatigued, Fury will be like, okay, then I'm going to step in now. I'm going to start letting my hands go more and more now, and let's see if I can break it in. I think he'll start putting his foot on the gas rounds 9 to 12. And I think somewhere in that gap, somewhere in those rounds, I think you could break him and stop him. I'm not saying you're going to knock him out. I think to the point where he's throwing combinations, unanswered.
The ref is going to come in and stop it.
Unanswered punches. And I think that's what will happen there.
I mean, we get the same pick. We just get two different ways of the fight happening.
Look,
we have the same pick.
I understand. I reckon most people, mate, will be picking Fury points. I understand. Most people will. Because that's what he does. He boxes. You know, he's a boxer. But I just think now, in a fight that magnitude, I think he'll want to make a statement.
That could be true. And what I tend to forget, and what's really key in this fight, is the head coach. It's not the same no more. He has a different tactic. And that coach that is in Fury's corner, he's very aggressive. So I can understand why you're taking. I'm still thinking about Fury, how we know Fury's whole career. Yeah. But he has a different coach, and he's trying to instill something different into Fury.
You know, in my opinion on that, the coaches.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if you see Ben Davison back for the Joshua fight. You know why? Fury's got a lot. Look, this is the history of Fury. He's got. He started with his uncle. His uncle Huey. That was his first coach.
Yeah.
Then it was Pete. He died. I think he died. Then you had Huey. No disrespect. I think it was Huey. Then it was Peter. Then it was Ben Davison. Then it was Sugar Hill. That's 4. You know, that's 4. And don't forget, for a big part of his career, more of an active, that's 4. I think he does like to swap and change. So I think I'm not saying Sugar Hill can't come up with a game plan for that fight, you know, but I just think for that fight, look, it's styles. I'll be more comfortable. I mean, look, I don't know Sugar. We don't really know a lot of Sugar, but we know more about Ben Davison now because he's in the media a lot now and he's in the public eye. But Sugar Hill's still not really in the.
We know more about his dad, right? If I'm correct, Sugar Hill's dad.
Uncle Emmanuel, uncle.
Oh, uncle. There you go. Yeah.
But I think you'd see Ben. I think you'd see Ben. I think I wouldn't. Well, just going back to it, I think you'd see Ben Davison back there. I'm not saying you wouldn't see Sugar Hill because the fight before you have Freddie Roach and Ben Davison. He does sometimes have 2 coaches in, but it wouldn't surprise me if you did see Ben Davison back in the picture.
So can we agree on this?
Yeah.
The Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fight that's been in the media the past couple weeks, and they've been in talks. We both believe it's unrealistic. The locations and the fight happening this year, post-pandemic, we both believe that it's unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
And knowing that you still need Wilder and Pulev to step aside for the fight to happen.
Yeah, look, like this chat is just to say what we think about the current situation now. Like you say, we'll be doing the same sort of chat when it's Pulev, if it's Pulev Joshua, and we'll do the same sort of chat when it's Fury Wilder 3, and then we'll do obviously for the big one if touch wood.
Yeah, definitely.
But for the time being, I think we agree on most things other than the Ariel end, the big fight.
Yeah.
And we definitely disagree on Gervonta Davis and Tyson Fury.
I mean that's just my opinion.
Yes, mate.
I'm saying it's just my opinion.
Yes, of course. But now I think we've covered more things.
Yes, we have definitely.
Anything else? Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
I just want everybody to stay at home. I hope y'all enjoying the show. Yeah, got much more episode coming your way. Boxing talk, and we're just fans enjoying the sport and like to share our knowledge And I hope everybody's staying at home, staying safe. And shout out to the NHS.
Yep.
And all the healthcares around the world.
Yep. Thank you very much, Jace, for talking to the Mpgymbox podcast. We'll be doing more next week, but yeah, thank you for talking today, mate.
No problem. I appreciate you, Coach, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, mate. See you later, mate.
All right.